Welcome, and in this video I will be listing the most dangerous prisons in each state. Now let me put up a disclaimer before we continue. I will not be listing federal prisons, only state prisons and institutions. Also, some states I may be listing 2 or more prisons due to the fact that you have maximum security prisons where there is little or no movement. And because of this reason, there won't be much reported violence and gang activity. And this is what this video is based on, the most violent, dangerous prisons that go in each state. Another thing, I do not advocate violence, crime, nor do I recommend going to prison. This video is for information purposes only, and not to glorify prison life. Now let's get started. First off, we got the state of Alabama, HOLMAN Correctional Facility, sometimes called the worst prison in the country due to the violent stabbings and corrupt prison guards. Next state, Alaska. Better get real cold up there, especially at the Spring Creek Correctional Center in Seward, Alaska. Next state, Arizona, the desert. It's going to be out of Arizona State Prison at Florence or the Arizona State Prison at Lewis. Next up, we got Arkansas. It's going to be the infamous Varner Unit in Lincoln County, AZ. Next state, California, the official prison state, known for its various infamous prisons such as San Quentin, Soledad, Folsom, Pelican Bay. But currently, the most rocking and rolling worst state prison in the state would be Salinas Valley State Prison. Next state, Colorado, Sterling Correctional Facility in Sterling, Colorado. Next state, Connecticut. With the recent closing of the Northern Correctional Institution, the worst prison of the state now is the Osborne Correctional Institution in Somers, Connecticut. Next state, Delaware. It's going to be Sussex, SCI, in Georgetown, Delaware. Next up, we have Florida, the Sunshine State. But I better get real shady down there, especially at the Santa Rosa Correctional Institution. Second place notables to the Charlotte, Martin, Columbia, and Dade County Correctional Facilities, the state of Florida. Next, we got Smith State Prison in Glenville, Georgia. All my ATL Savannah people, let me know what's up. Next state, we have the island of Hawaii. And here's a place you definitely don't want to visit while out there vacationing. The Halawa Correctional Facility in Hawaii. Next state, Idaho or Idaho. That's an inside joke. But it's going to be Idaho State Correctional Institution, ISCI, in Kuna, Idaho, which is broken down into 5 facilities: reception, medium, max, medical, and female, due to the small population of the state. Next up, we have Illinois, where they certainly make a lot of noise, especially at the Stateville Correctional Facility. Second place notables go to the Joliet and Menard Correctional Center. Next state, Indiana, Miami Correctional Facility at Bunker Hill. Next state, Iowa, going to be Iowa State Penitentiary at Fort Madison. Next state, Kansas. It's going to be the El Dorado Correctional Facility in El Dorado, KS. The next state, Kentucky. It's going to be Blackburn or the Big Sandy at the 505 Prison Connector in Sandy Hook, Kentucky. Next state we have is Louisiana, and it's definitely gonna be Angola State Prison in Angola, Louisiana, the infamous. Next we got Maine State Prison, aka Hell in a Cell, in Warren, Maine. Next up we have Maryland. It's either going to be the North Branch Correctional Institution in Cumberland, Maryland, or the Baltimore City Correctional Institution. All my Maryland cats, let me know what's up. Next state we have is Massachusetts. It's either going to be the Walpole State Prison or the Salza Baranowski Correctional Center in Lancaster, Massachusetts. Y'all in the Boston area, let me know what y'all think. Next state we got is Michigan, home of the Motor City, and also home of the Muskegon Correctional Facility. They still having bad COVID cases, like a lot of prisons did. Next state we have is Minnesota, and it's going to be the Minnesota Correctional Facility in Oak Park Heights in Stillwater, Minnesota. This is also currently where the murderous cop Derek Chauvin is currently located. Next we have Mississippi. It's going to be the infamous Parchment Farm in Sunflower County, Mississippi. Now this prison sometime has been deemed the worst prison in the country, so you definitely don't want to go here. Next state we have is Missouri, and it's going to be the Walls in Jefferson City, Missouri. Next state we have is Montana, Deer Lodge Valley, SP. Next up we have Nebraska. It's going to be the Tecumseh State Correctional Institution. Second place notable goes to the Lincoln Center Correctional Institution for the state of Nebraska. Next we have Nevada. As of late, High Desert State Prison in Clark County. A few notables goes to Eli State Prison and Southern Desert Correctional Facility, and also recently it was just closed, Lovelock Facility, state of Nevada. Next up, New Hampshire State Prison in Concord, New Hampshire. And for New Jersey, Southern State Correctional Facility in Delmont, New Jersey. Second place notable goes to Bayside State Penitentiary, New Jersey. Now New Mexico, home of the infamous Old Main, New Mexico State Prison, where one of the worst riots in U.S. history took place to this day. The legendary, infamous Old Main, New Mexico State Prison. On to New York, the Big Apple, and it's going to be the infamous Attica Correctional Facility in Attica, New York. Also where one of the most infamous, legendary riots to this date took place also in the U.S. All power to the people. Second place notables goes to Riker Island in Sing Sing. And on to the next state, which is North Carolina. It's going to be the Supermax at Buntner Hill, Polk Correctional Institution. And for North Dakota, it's going to be the James River Correctional Center in Jamestown, North Dakota. And for the state of Ohio, you have Lucasville, better known as the Luke, Southern Ohio Correctional Facility. also home of an infamous, notorious riot in U.S. history, the Luke. Next up, Oklahoma. It's going to be the Oklahoma State Reformatory in Granite, Oklahoma. And for Oregon, we have Oregon State Penitentiary, OSP, Salem, Oregon. Now on to Pennsylvania, Penn State, and is either out of SCI Phoenix or SCI New Fayette houses in LaBelle, Pennsylvania. Next state we have is Rhode Island, where it's going to be the John J. Morgan facility in Cranston, Rhode Island. For the state of South Carolina, it's going to be the Lieber Correctional Institute in Ridgeville, South Carolina. And for South Dakota, the worst prison in this state is going to be the Mike DeFree State Prison in Springfield, South Dakota. Next state, Tennessee. With the recent closing of the Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary, the title now goes to the West Tennessee State Prison. Second place notable, Morgan County Correctional Complex. Now on to Texas. Definitely don't want to mess with Texas. Definitely want to mess with the Ellis Unit in Huntsville, Texas, nor the Pulaski Unit in Livingston, TX, Texas. On to Utah. It's going to be the Utah State Prison in Draper, which recently is being rebuilt. On to Vermont. It's going to be out of the Southern State Correctional Facility in Springfield or the Chittenden Regional Correctional Facility. And for the state of Virginia, it's going to be Wallens Ridge State Prison in Wise County. Next up we have is Washington. It's going to be the Monroe Correctional Complex in Monroe, Washington. Next is West Virginia, Northern Correctional Facility in Moundsville. Next state is Wisconsin, home of the Supermax Secure Detention Facility in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And for the last state, which is Wyoming, is going to be the Wyoming State Prison in Rawlins. Thanks for watching. Again, this is the worst state prisons in each individual state, not counting federal correctional facilities. Again, we do not advocate going to prison or any criminal activity. This is for informational purposes only. If you like more videos like this, please subscribe. Bad News Brown, breaking shit down.